We could do like a little fucking catch up.
All right.
Because we need to catch up too.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah. But you gotta project a little bit. You can't do that soft fucking speak.
I can't do that soft spoken.
Can't do that soft speak. How you doing, Chandler?
Doing pretty good. It's been a while since we've recorded. Like, it's been a hot minute.
Since we've done anything.
Since we've been allowed to do anything.
I know. I mean, the last time we were gonna do something, but my life was falling apart. So.
Ooh, yeah. Last time we were going to do something, your life was falling apart, and then the world started falling apart. We haven't been able to really catch up on anything.
So, what's new with you?
I had a birthday.
Happy birthday. What are Jew birthdays called?
Mitzvahs.
A mitzvah?
It's a mitzvah.
Okay.
Actually, no, that's just for like any good deed. I don't want to put out false information. I have no idea what Jews call birthdays. Probably birthdays.
Do Jews even have birthdays?
No, we're just spawned straight from the earth, like cabbage.
Oof. I guess there's some context. We're on the roof of your building.
Oh, yeah. Recording. What's the date? It's the 11th.
It's the 11th?
It's April 11th. And we're recording on the building because it's, I guess, a little bit more socially responsible to be outside.
Even though we're less than 6 feet apart, we're both not wearing masks.
True.
You held this in your hand.
I put it in my pocket.
So your fucking pocket, this cup. Oh, man.
Though I'm pretty sure my pocket is clean. I clean my pocket out real good.
You use that hand to open your doorknob?
Oh, yeah. I've been touching knobs all day.
Woof. Oh.
It's the same knob, but it's... There's nothing to do. Awkward.
There's nothing to do in quarantine. So, I don't want to blow our podcast load, obviously, but the world is fucking falling apart.
Mm-hmm. Last time, I believe I set up the show notes for us, and it was just following like the mass lockdowns, where every state was kind of doing their like.
But not New York yet.
Not New York. It hadn't hit here yet, and since then, we have the highest body count so far.
More than Italy.
Yeah.
And remember, 2 weeks ago we were like, oh man, 500 people are dying a day in Italy. Oh boy.
Sucks to be Italy.
But
oh no.
but it sure as fuck sucks to be us. Man, this is a beautiful fucking view.
It's a really nice night.
It's lonely doing this self-isolating shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you at least have like family and people to live with.
Well, let's see. I have the woman who I love very much, who I spent the last 15 years lying to.
Yikes.
So, we're kind of okay, but like, imagine having a big fight and then like being stuck in the house with each other every day for like 3 weeks.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like you can't escape for any. I
mean, you can, but like it just builds up a little bit. It's just like
it almost kind of like. Do you think of it as rounds now? Like, is it still one big fight, or are you just going?
It kind of is.
Like you break to your corners
a little bit. You
kind of stare down a little bit.
Only we break to our corners, and then like I fuck up again. But then. Now I'm not fucking up, but it's too late. Kind of, almost. Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see how that rides out. What else is going on with you?
Work?
Oh, yeah, you're still working.
Oh, man. Oh, people are dying and shit. Everybody's sick of the COVID.
People are dying. Yeah, I 2 weeks ago said, fuck that, and dipped. I don't know why you're still there, to be honest.
Because I'm scared if I walk away and get that unemployment, that when it's over, I won't have anywhere to go. I'd rather not burn any bridges.
What makes you think you'd have nowhere to go?
I have no bridges, because the thing is...
You're qualified.
I am, but here's the thing, is that, no offense to, I'm not trying to be funny this time, but I don't really have this support structure or family to kind of lean back on. So, if, for example, for some reason I just didn't get a job, and then I couldn't, and I was no longer qualified for unemployment or something like that, it would suck for me. I would have nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. True. So burning bridges is not really something I want to do.
And now you also have a couple more people depending on you.
Yeah. One of which is an amazing child and a beautiful woman, and I just, want to not fuck that up.
Wait, they're not the same one of which, right? You said one of which is an amazing child and a beautiful woman. I just want to make sure. You differentiate between the two.
Did you hear that? Hold on. Did you hear this? Did you hear about this? Did you see about this?
No.
Now this is topical. This is super topical. That people in fucking like London and shit are burning fucking cell towers.
Oh yeah, because of like 5G is spreading corona.
Yeah, which is funny though because, you know, I just saw this tweet. It was funny. It was like, you motherfuckers are letting Apple use infrared to scan your eyes and fucking
Right.
like Bluetooth beams in your head and shit is recognizing your face and your voice and your
But
mic.
that's
Yeah, but you're concerned about fucking low band 5G waves going through you, giving you fucking coronavirus. Okay.
Look, I'm just glad that they're blaming the cell towers and not the Jews again.
The Jews are next.
I know.
I'll be honest.
That's why I'm like, yeah.
I'm surprised the Jews have not been blamed sooner.
I wouldn't say that the conspiracy theories aren't out there yet, but they just haven't like got the same kind of grasp or the traction that they did in the 1400s.
Give me a Jew conspiracy theory.
Like one from the
From
Jewish.
now. What are the Jews doing that's causing the coronavirus?
Oh, the Jews and the liberal elites are and globalists are trying to spread coronavirus to cripple Republicans and and nationalism, and they're making it seem like every country can't survive on its own, so that way, the globalism shuts down and everyone has to stay in their own spot.
Oh, so they all suffer because they're not part of the global society.
Yeah.
Right? So when this ends, it's like, oh, now we see that we need each other. It's like very Watchmen.
That's exactly what's happening. Well, that's exactly what the conspiracy theorists are saying what's happening.
No, I saw how serious your face was, Chandler. That's what's happening.
That is what's happening. That is a fact. Burn your cell towers.
Man,
Jesus.
I fucking miss. We don't fucking get a chance to hang out.
Well, usually we need a couple more feet apart to hang out.
I know, right?
That's...
I know, we're actually closer than we normally are.
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy. We're fucking gonna die, bro.
Can't wait. So what else is going on in the world?
I don't know. Is anything Biden?
Yeah,
because we're never gonna get onto that shit.
Yeah, that's what I had written down last time was
Yeah.
like, why are we still letting Biden sweep all these states? Oh shit, that's what happened, right? The whole Supreme Court's like mandating
Oh fuck.
people can't get like emergency fucking mail-in ballots.
Yeah.
So like all the mail-in ballots that people already applied for, they still get those.
Yeah.
But there's no new ones.
Because it
now.
depends on
It's
depends on the state. It's up to the state.
yeah, it's up to the state.
It's up to the state. And I think in New York, you can do it in New York easily.
I'm still registered in Nevada.
Yeah, but I think well, you can do an absentee ballot easily. But I do think it's funny, and I really do think I'm not trying to project onto Bernie Sanders like he's a god or anything like that. But I could see him sitting there going, my chance to winning is getting slimmer, and people are being forced to go out in the fucking pandemic. In states where literally in the entire state there's like 50 polling sites. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they're like they're big states. They're not like it's not like Rhode Island or some shit where it's like a teeny tiny state and 50 in there would be covering some decent ground. It's like the big ones.
Yeah, so that really sucks.
Fucking
So
Idaho.
now it's Biden. So here's the question. Adrienne was saying to me, she's like, are you gonna vote? And in foot of rage, I was like, I'm not voting for anybody. And she said to me, do you feel like it's okay to do that, to say that? And it is okay, but it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right.
And I'm kind of upset because, I was talking to my mother on the phone, and she was talking about Trump. She's like, the way Trump is handling this. And I was like, I've actually been, every morning I listen to Andrew Cuomo, to Bill de Blasio, and President Trump, because they're all on YouTube when they're airing. Through Cuomo and Trump's kind of coincide. And despite what Trump says on Twitter, he's been handling this pretty well. Yeah, you listen to the conferences.
I wouldn't say well. He's handling it on par for how we'd expect Trump to handle it.
He's handling it well. I'm gonna say some controversial shit. He's handling it better than Trump handled. Obama handled fucking swine flu.
Cities didn't have to shut down for swine flu. But I mean, it's also a different. It was a different disease.
Obama really mishandled that. supremely mishandled that.
Yeah, probably.
And I think that...
But the consequences weren't as great. And
I mean, is any life, it's too great. And I think that, so if you look at a leader, and I feel like the Trump defense force right here, but at the beginning of the pandemic, right, you look at it, do you want your leader to say the world is burning? Or do you want your leader to say that things are going to be okay and that this is where we're going to go? Because they set the tone.
You want your leader to say things are going to be okay, but then, not completely dismiss the issue.
To be fair,
it was a very Ba Sing Se move.
To be fair, I think everybody dismissed it.
Well, yeah.
So I don't think it was solely him.
Can we blame the media for that?
The media did a lot of that,
but turns out the media was right. I think we can blame the media for every other disease leading up to this that made us think it wasn't a big deal.
Oh, totally.
There was a little cried wolf a bit.
Totally. I think that when you look at the whole situation, making sure it's still recording. Ooh, it is. Look at that.
Is it gonna slide?
No, It might slide.
All right.
We're good. You look at it, and it's just all right, here we fucking go. Trump gets up there and he says this is not a big deal. Only a few people are here. He wasn't lying. Only a few people were here, right? He was not lying. Then when shit started hit the fan, he was like, we have it handled. Because the reality is, we kind of thought we had it handled. We're forgetting. He was not. He has the information.
His specialist said that they gave him the information, and it was more information than he was letting. I'm
not saying that, but I don't think that he did.
You said he handled it well.
No, he's handling it well. I feel like right now he's doing a decent job. He's doing a better job than Bush did after 9/11. He's doing...
Well, I mean, that's because he hasn't invaded another country yet.
If anything,
Yet.
if anything, if you listen to the press conferences that he's been having daily, it's been level-headed, and it's been I'm kind of confused at the person I'm looking at. And you look at it.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been listening to his press conferences just because, I don't. Yeah. That's not what I listen to.
But you watch them, and and you listen to the governors, and even Andrew Cuomo's like, I disagree with Trump all the time, but he's been handling this very well, and he's communicating with the governors. And
pull your finger out her ass. They're handling it just as bad as he is.
I don't know about that.
New York is a fucking disaster zone.
I feel like I don't completely agree with that, because the political game in New York is very difficult. You'd think you would just say 4 weeks, a month and a half ago, lock it down. But in a city this small with 9 million people, you can't just do that. And the reason why is because you're going to see what happens now that they did. And what's going to happen is that when this is over, the displaced, it's going to be ridiculous. The city will be 9/11 has nothing on what happened to the city as this has. And so if you're a leader...
the span of multiple months, 9/11 was actually,
if
you had the fallout of it.
But if you look at, as a leader, if you're a leader and somebody says to you, how do you try to handle this? You take baby steps. Because you don't just shut it down. Because then you end up in India. You look at India, what do you say? He said, you know what? Fuck it. 100%. Right? And then it's all collapsed.
Shut it
It just doesn't work. So I think it's very unfair for people to be super hard and harsh on leaders when they're not willing to people are like, oh, why are you so concerned about the economy? Because when this is over, when I'm not trying to be, but when the 0.4% of people who are dead, everybody else has to live here, and then we're not gonna have any money, we're not gonna have easy lives, and it's gonna be worse. And if you think
that shit bounces back all the time.
If you think income inequality is bad now, what?
Shit. Stock markets, economies, but it's all made up, and the points don't matter.
Well, the stock market's up.
Yeah,
but people are still
and the
losing
economy
money.
is still down. It's none of it actually means anything other than your immediate situation. And so once this is all over,
but the
stores will open up again.
The point is that Trump has not wildly mishandled it, and I think that's at a minimum all he needs. He's reelected.
Yeah.
That's completely it. That's all you need at a minimum, is for him to not completely fuck it up. And he hasn't. Anybody says he didn't completely fuck it up. He has not completely mishandled or bumbled this entire thing.
We also haven't had the full numbers come in yet.
We're not gonna. I think that...
Do you think we're gonna cover it up?
No.
Do you think
Like you mean like Japan did?
Japan?
So Japan is like, oh, there's no coronavirus here. The Olympics is happening. There's no coronavirus here. We're not gonna have the Olympics. Okay. What? Oh, suddenly there's 50,000 cases in every city. You know, magically after the Olympics got canceled, then all of a sudden the pandemic slammed on Japan in one day. Isn't that mystical?
Well,
Isn't
that's a
that magical? It's great, you know.
Quick pause. Can you kick that blue coat over to me?
You can pick it up. You know.
No, I'm
Look
trying.
how
not,
long you are.
Okay. I'm social distancing.
I coughed in my hand.
That's why I said kick it.
You know what's in my hand?
That's why I
it's
said
a face mask
kick
that I was
it.
wearing, and it was on my face when I was talking, and it touched both my hands. So I'm gonna. Oh, you mean my feet that touched the floor?
That's why I
With
said
dog shit.
kick it.
You know you're more likely to get a neurovirus, which is way worse.
God, I hope so.
You know.
What
And
else
I
is
touched it
going
with my hand too. There you go.
I've been rewatching Osmosis Jones.
Oh Jesus Christ!
At least once every 3 days. And so, look, I have about a healthy immune system as Bill Murray. I believe my Chris Rock white blood cells can handle. That's a great fucking movie, by the way.
Wow, this looks so beautiful.
It's super memeable. Oh, and just look over your left shoulder, too. That's my favorite view.
You know, how do you feel about living in New York City now that this shit has happened? Because you're a transplant. That's interesting. You're a person who's not from here, who left the place you're comfortable in that you know to come to this place.
I left Las Vegas to come here.
All right. Think about Vegas is kind of ass. And you came here, and then what?
Whoa. Excuse me?
You came here, and then this.
First of all, there are parts of Vegas that are not ass. But, I mean, you kind of summed it up.
Yeah, I know. Right? Yeah.
But, let's see. The first year was like normal New York. But I didn't do much because I was broke and had trying to make money and spending time to.
Good excuse.
That's my excuse for not going out and experiencing life. And then I got some money and no time, and then I got all time and some money, but nothing's open. And so it's kind of surreal, but I also kind of like it because it's like, hey, things calm down a little bit, you know? Except for the people still yelling outside of my bedroom window on a nightly basis. But other than that, it's fine. It's fine.
So this is a thing I do. I've been doing for years. Of course, because we're talking into audio, nobody can hear or see what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always done this. I've looked at the buildings of New York, and you see each of these lights. Oh, I still think I'm high as fuck right now. Each of these lights is somebody's life.
All the lights.
And it's so interesting how fucking minuscule these little tiny fucking dots. Look how tiny that shit is. Look how small it is.
It's just each little room.
You know, but inside of each one of those fucking things, there's a fucking movie Adriana showed me years ago called Millionaires. It's I think it's a Portuguese movie about a guy who never leaves his house. And he's like a software programmer. And he falls in love with this woman, and in where they're from, they have no windows, and they spend the entire movie opening a window, and it's like an ad on the side of the building. And they finally crack open this window to look over the city. And it's this little tiny fucking dot. And I think about that, because our life is this weird fucking microcosm, because all this shit is happening.
We're just a pixel.
All these people are fucking dying.
Yeah.
All these people are sick, but it's nobody.
Really?
Nobody's gotten sick. Nobody's fucking dying.
You worked with the dude who died.
Yes, I know, but statistically, it's fucking crazy that I have, because the amount of people, even in this city, if everybody got sick, how small a fucking number that is. It is. This shit is fleeting. This shit is so fucking, because you got so when you go to school, when you talk about engineering, they call about levels of abstraction, right? So levels of abstraction are like this. You got the math, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have the formula, right? Which is a level up, because the formula breaks down the math and make it easier, right?
Okay.
But then you have subsequent formulas that break down the internal math, like Ohm's law, because there's lots of little mini math right? But each level it goes up, it gets smaller, and it gets easier to do and easier to see, but you don't really see the real complexity of it, right? That's kind of the world we live in, because we're seeing on TV these people getting sick and they're dying, but that's really just the most simplified version of it. When, if you look at the math, in the entire world, let's be generous. 100 million people have the coronavirus, which is about 1,000 times more than they've said have it.
In the whole world?
In the whole world.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because they're saying.
I don't know. I feel like you're making up numbers.
I made that number up, but they're saying it's like 400,000 people
in the whole world.
Yes.
Have coronavirus.
Yes.
Doubt.
I also doubt that, which is why I said 100 million. But even 100 million out of what? 8 billion?
No, because it's like countries are reporting millions with people.
No, they're not reporting millions. So in Italy, right? In Italy,
the death counts are in the thousands, dude.
Yes, hold on.
And that's only a fraction of the people who have it.
They're saying that 300,000 people have recovered worldwide.
Okay. So that means at least 300,000 people had it at one point.
Yes. Okay. Now, I think that's only because they haven't tested everyone, right?
Right.
So I said 100 million. Their numbers are under 1 million.
I doubt.
I also doubt that.
No, I'm doubting your data.
No, I'm being serious.
I don't think that's what they're saying.
I'm telling you. All I do is read the Times.
Jamie, bring it up.
All I do is read the Times all day, every fucking day. Currently, on this day, I barely. They're saying that it's under, like literally, but they're projecting that the number is possibly higher, right? So that's because you have. This is why statistics is crazy, obviously, because you have the tested, you have the projected, right? So if they've tested 1 million people and 500,000 of that million, but you project that because they're saying that the transmission rate is about, if you're not social distancing, it's about per person 3 other people, right? You can kind of estimate somewhere around 7 million people. But that's weak. So I say 100 million people. And 100 million people is beyond the forecasted amount. It's significantly beyond the forecasted amount. But even if you're not comfortable with that, 700 million. Fuck it. 1 billion. 1/8 of the planet.
Yeah.
How fucking small is that?
It's 1/8. I mean, that'll get me through
a
weekend.
1/8 is definitely much larger than but that's still a very fucking small amount.
I mean, plague wiped out 1/3 of Europe, and we already beat those numbers. Those are rookie numbers.
Those are rookie numbers, But fuck this shit. This shit is so fucking crazy because it seems so big, and it is so big, but it's fucking.
It's big because because the numbers were when you get to 8 billion. A microcosm of that is still a big fucking amount of people.
I mean, AIDS is like 4 million people in the world have it.
Yeah, but AIDS isn't a big deal anymore. They found a cure. Didn't you hear? Oh shit, was I?
Oh fuck, the Jews. The Jews have their own cure?
Yeah. No. Just us white people. It was from the other side of the family.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't supposed to tell you.
I know, right? I'm not saying it's inconsequential. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that like it's like a matter of perspective.
It is a matter of perspective, but like you can choose to take the macroscopic perspective and be super nihilistic about it.
I'm not trying to be nihilistic either, because they're saying that of the people who get it, like 3% of the people fall into the severe category, and of that 3% of the people, like a portion of them are the people who are gonna die from this, right? Again, not good, not great. Just saying.
It's still a whole fucking Roman legion if you're going out of 1 million people. Like, it's...
The question is, and the whole point was, is that you as a leader, how do you make these decisions?
By not looking like an idiot. And he's still...
But how?
He still managed to look like an idiot.
What is the decision that you make?
What's the decision that I make?
Yes. So somebody says to you, there's this thing in Wuhan, China. Some people have gotten sick. We're not really sure what's going on, how transmittable is it. What do?
Stock up. Look, I've been playing Civ. So, all right. Here's what I do. Invest in education and medical resources. That's the bar one. That's numero uno is how do we educate people the best that we can about this? Do PSAs, just start running as many ad campaigns as possible to try to legitimize the issue. And then make sure that you got enough medical equipment and you start running laboratory tests to try it.
I think that completely is without context, because you look at real life, every year there are viruses that come out. Every year there are things like this that happen.
Yeah, but this just ain't mesothelioma.
This is not a single thing, though. This is not an isolated incident. These things happen 15 times a year, 20 times a year. Mm-hmm. Every time something happens, you don't. Also, by the way, what medical supplies? This unlike SARS and MERS and the novel virus, it's called SARS CoV-2, I think they're calling it. I think it's the official name now. I can't remember. It's called SARS something.
SARS-CoV-2, electric boogaloo.
It attacks your respiratory, but like, what medical supplies?
Virginia Slims.
Because this thing is respiratory. But what about the ones that are gastrointestinal? What about the ones that make your eyeballs fall out? What medical supplies? Every time a little virus pops up and some people die in China, do you spend $100 million stocking up every hospital in big cities with medical equipment? Is that practical?
Yeah, but as soon as it got to Seattle, it should have been like, oh, all right, this might be something worth fucking with.
I think,
and they did.
I don't know.
What is it? Fauci? What?
Focaccia? What?
No. What's the?
Fauci?
Fauci. Yeah.
What the fuck?
He said that he told Trump shit. People are saying Trump knew more information than he's letting on. For one,
he's the president, so of course he does.
Of course.
Yeah.
He still hasn't released the aliens out of Area 51, even after we said we were going to storm the place. So, why should he give a fuck?
I think the thing is that, in Washington, you had that nursing home, everybody died, right? That's what happened. It's a nursing home, somebody with the COVID came in there, and it was 90 people died.
Well, that's because it's an STD in nursing homes.
Well, it definitely is.
Yeah.
But I think the thing about that is that that's still not an indicator of how to make moves. It's not really, because you have this is an incident, right? But you have this disease that's shown to really affect people who are over the age of 60 at the time.
Well, again, that's his main voting demographic, so I think he should have acted better.
I just don't think that he completely I think my issue is that I think that people are not judging him based on his response, but they're judging him because they don't like him. And I also don't like him.
It was a slow-ass response.
But also,
we knew about this shit
people compare him
at the beginning of January.
People always compare him to Obama when it makes him look bad. But the reality is that this response was faster than swine flu. That's the reality. That is the complete reality. The issue, the problem is that swine flu just actually kind of fizzed out on its own.
Yeah.
That's the reality of the situation.
I'd also say swine flu was a little over media hyped.
I kind of disagree. You gotta tell that to the million people who died.
Was it a million? I was in 6th grade when it happened.
That's the thing about swine flu was so significant, but people don't realize how significant it was. It was very, very significant.
Really?
Yes, it was crazy.
It was hot for maybe a week.
Yeah, it was more than that.
It was gone.
That's what you were in 6th grade or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that people really forget how terribly Biden specifically mishandled that.
Oh, now you're throwing Biden under the bus.
Because he was the one, just like Trump put Pence in charge. And by the way, Pence might be a fucking Mormon who fucking, I don't know.
He's not Mormon, is he?
What is the other one? No, he's Mormon. Yeah,
he's not Mormon. He's some other more crazy kind of.
No, isn't it Mormon? Name some crazy things.
No, Romney's the Mormon.
I'm pretty sure he's Mormon. Whatever.
I think he's
something.
Presbyterian or.
But whatever. He's out of his mind and doesn't believe. He believes that Jesus praised the gay away. But Mike Pence. Actually, I've never heard him speak before. He's well-spoken, and he's handling the situation well, and he's leading the pandemic response team.
Shit, and you're finally picking up on our code language. It's I don't expect this man to be intelligent. He's well-spoken.
I know, right?
Huh.
It's he's like putting correct people into his pandemic response team and shit like that, And you just look at the response versus the Obama-Biden response, and it's just not good, And it's upsetting because people don't like Trump. But the reality is that unfortunately for us, the scale of this is unprecedented. This is just unprecedented. Yeah. You cannot make a right decision.
No, but
they lock the city. You lock the city down. Day one, right? Nobody gets it. Then the economy fucking collapses, and then people are like, well, the economy collapsed, but nobody even got this shit.
Well, that's true. But you're right. That use of law, it's a logical fallacy, but it would be used. And you're right. I don't want to. You're not technically right. But you are realistically right, and I think that's what bothers me.
Yeah, it sucks. I don't like Trump. But the more this goes on, and this is like shit, if you have to pick between Biden and Trump, and by the way, you've seen, now you're a little young to remember, because I'm not that much older than you, I'm older enough than you.
No, you're a fucking old man.
That I remember.
Did you take your multivitamin today?
Actually, I haven't. I forgot. That Biden was in a similar position as Trump, and Biden's handling of it was not as good.
But he did make some great memes out of it.
He definitely did. Also Biden fucking can't fucking talk. But you know what's gonna happen? His cabinet is gonna be fucking Andrew. It's gonna be everyone in like the campaign. It's like all powers unite.
That's the thing though, is like a vote for Biden is mainly just to get the cabinets out. Like, it's not because you think Biden is so much better than Trump. It's because you think the people Trump has surrounding him are pieces of shit. And, if Biden...
I don't know if they're pieces of shit, though.
Betsy DeVos.
Come on. Come on. That's not fucking fair.
Come on.
That's not fair. That's not fucking fair. No. Anybody who's not a piece of shit around him, he gets rid of. Except for Fauci. Everybody, he's like, oh, man, you don't agree with me. Peace out.
Deuces. Who's the person he put in charge of the EPA now?
Some fucking guy who doesn't believe in fucking environment and
global
warming. Okay,
Like that's the vote for Biden now. You're not voting for Biden. You're voting for at least new blood in the cabinet.
New blood. 76 years old. And who do you think is gonna put in fucking the cabinet? Who do you think is going to be there?
The people who...
The same people who were there before. Like, who the fuck is he going to put in there?
But he's at least going to put people in who, like, actually acknowledge climate change and, like...
Is he? You mean like how he did after, like, 40 years of not? Along with, like, the gays?
Yeah, look. Look.
He's going to put Clinton in there? That's all remember how Clinton... thought that homosexuality was a sin and they shouldn't get married. And then magically in 2007, she magically realized that they should get married.
Look. I've drank my share of seawater. Look, I know what it's like to just kind of hold your nose and swallow.
But should you?
What's the other choice? Hope for another 4 years where he implodes on himself?
Or hope for another 4 years where, like, the majority of it is just fucking loud and boy. The reality, the majority of his presidency, up until the end of last year, with the putting of the Hispanics inside of cages. Other than that, it's been really, well, actually not even that. That was not even new, because Obama did that. Obama was just quiet about his shit. True. It was really just the killing of a general in another country that really, people thought put America at risk.
It was the love letter to the Turkish president. It was...
Yeah, but, other than that...
It was weak-ass pull-out game in Syria. It was...
I mean, the reality is that, like, they couldn't impeach Trump. Because... they couldn't.
No. Because...
You want to know why? I'll tell you why.
Tell me why.
I'll tell you why. They couldn't impeach Trump because they rushed it. They waited too long to start the process. And then when they did... they didn't have sufficient evidence.
They weren't allowed to bring in their sufficient evidence.
So I kind of thought that.
They were barred from bringing in new evidence.
I kind of thought that, but that's actually not true. So during the actual...
Cite your sources.
I got you.
Cite your sources.
You mean the sources of... You can go and you can actually watch the YouTube of the House impeachment hearing where they subpoenaed people, and then after like 3 weeks, they were like, you know what? We're not going to try to enforce these subpoenas so that you look bad. That's really what happened. They didn't try to enforce the subpoenas. They didn't really try to make noise. They didn't go to the courts and try to have the people arrested and pulled in for the subpoenas. They could have, but they didn't.
Why not?
Why not? Because they make them look bad. So it's more, I subpoena you. You don't want to come in. Oh, he doesn't want to come in.
So it's not that again. They played the fashion game rather than the actual game.
100%. So by the time it got to the Senate, there was not a sufficient evidence. What anybody said, I watched every single one. And when the Republicans got up and they spoke, it's like, wow, you know what? They're right. Because they've bought these articles of impeachment and they're weak. They're weak. And the reason they're weak is because Trump is crazy, but Trump has done... You have to really, really, really do something very illegal and very clear. And unless you're murdering somebody in the street, you need to show up with sufficient evidence. And they waited until a year before the election, right? They rushed it over the process of 3 months, and then they're like, when they got to the Senate, yes, the Senate did not call new witnesses, but it's actually not their job to call new witnesses. That's like a courtesy to call new witnesses. And maybe it would be nice if the opposition would call the witnesses for you, but they don't have to. You need to show up with your shit in order. Doesn't mean he shouldn't have been impeached, but he didn't show up. They didn't show up with sufficient evidence. The evidence was weak. Very, very, very,
But just because it was botched doesn't mean he's deserving of another term.
No, but, he was acquitted.
Acquitted,
because he was never, hey, OJ didn't kill her. OJ did go into that house and rob somebody, and then he got locked up for it. I don't know what you can say. That's just how the law works. The law doesn't work on feelings.
That's true.
Trump legally did not do anything wrong.
Does the law not work on feelings?
It should, I guess. But then that's fucking...
You've been to the South, right?
That's fucking liberals. I just, I hate Trump, but I also just don't hate him blindly.
I don't hate him blindly. I just hate him because it's a bad fucking look. And it's like, God damn, can we just, it's like wearing a zoot suit to the club now.
Oh, you're that guy.
And it's a bad fucking look.
It is a bad look.
It's like, really? Are we still doing this? I get how this would be a thing a while ago, and I see why, cartoons still emulate it, but a lot of those cartoons that have that warning of like, hey, this was from an earlier time, maybe we shouldn't still...
How different would Biden be from Trump?
Not much, that's
the problem,
but he would be a better look. Not much better.
Would he be a better look?
Instead of being like...
At least Trump can speak. Trump is high on something. Trump is high on something.
Can you really say Trump can speak?
He can. Trump does that thing when he speaks where, like, if you take the sentences apart, it makes no sense. But he's just, like, really energetic. So, like, he's like, out there just spouting fucking euphemisms and, like, shit off of Facebook.
Dude, he talks like the fucking leader of the Gungan Warriors in Phantom Menace. He even throws in a little Nixon, like...
I cannot do that shit. Fuck, I can't even. I think, no. Fuck, man. Fucking Trump was the first literally, they were like, Trump was like, you know what, we should give the American people government money from the government. Other people said that shit in private. Other people said that shit before. But when push came to shove, he was the first one to say it. Listen, I was in my store today. Some black people came in and they're like, man, Trump is really trying to get reelected. Can I tell you something? Yeah, he really is. Can I tell you something? If after the stimulus payment comes out in like a few days for the first people with via direct deposit.
I already got mine, so.
Can we? I want to switch to another thing so I can get it.
You're trying to like get me to start a line of credit with you just so right? Get a front
let me $50. No. But you look at it, right? And it's just like, okay. So after this passes and after this happens, he's going to be like, you know what? The fourth stimulus bill is going to come through because that was the third. And he's going to give people more money and he's going to get reelected.
Is he going to give people
He's going to get reelected.
It's going to be mo money, mo money, mo money.
He is. He's going to get reelected. There's no real reason. Listen.
But do you think this will become like a universally subsidized income type thing? Or is this just like a one-time?
You're getting rebate on your tax for next
really
year.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
know
what?
Yeah. So what they're doing is, so let's say, for example, you were going to get $1,000 next year, right? Instead, you're getting $2,500 next year, but they're giving you $1,500 now. So the taxes that you're going to be paying already, they're just taxing you a little bit less, you know, or they're giving you more of your taxes back.
Right.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So if you did not file for 2019 and you filed for 2018 and you qualified in 2018, which is under that's like $70,000 to $100,000 is like a sliding scale. Like $70,000 plus $1, you get $1,199. You know, that's how it works. But if for some reason you get it, but then you file taxes for 2019 and 2021, and it turns out that you made $100,000 somehow, then you actually will owe the taxes back. Because they're just giving you a
So
rebate.
they're not actually giving you money.
No, it's your money.
And I want it now.
It is. It's a rebate on your money.
Well, I mean, is tax money your money?
I mean,
Once you pay your taxes, is it your money?
no.
No.
But yes. Because like, here's the thing. They so put credits aside, right? You know, they do this thing where they're like, throw some money in here and we'll calculate how much we're actually supposed to take from you and we'll give you the rest back. You know, so most of it you're giving it is theirs.
Well, I'm saying just like the principle of taxes. Is it really your money?
I mean, is any of it your money?
Is it just the cost of an organized society?
I mean,
I'm bringing it down to Hobbes and Locke.
Okay, comrade.
Like fucking, all right, we're in a social contract. There has to be some sort of monetary incentive and funding to renew and to maintain this social contract. So it's just cost of doing business so that we're not in a bunch of different villages still raiding each other. That's what taxes are to me, at least.
No, I mean, it pretty much is what it is. That is what it is, you know. Especially for big cities like this, it allows for a lot of luxury, you know.
Like, people have, like, I don't want to pay taxes. They're taking my money.
Yeah. So they're just giving our taxes, you know. Well, I think people who feel that way, it is kind of a little bit of a tangent, but they feel that way because, like, you know, you live in New York and your taxes, like, even in New York though, if you live in the Bronx, your taxes are they really going to your school district and giving them money, you know? But imagine if you live in fucking Ohio, you know, and you're fucking paying all these taxes and your roads aren't paved, and you're fucking, you know, like their utilities are inconsistent, you know.
Well, that sounds like more of a problem for local government, which is why there's local government.
Yeah, but people are educated and taught, and I don't know, but I grew up being taught that, like, I have no voice. You know, the way they did it was not being like, you're black, you have no voice. They did it by being like, they don't listen to you. Why should we vote? Why should we be involved when our voice doesn't matter?
Have you never been to a town hall meeting?
Well, I mean, I'm an affluent black man, so I have, but not like the other blacks.
Did you just say affluent?
Does anyone call themselves affluent, like, unironically, ever?
White people.
Right?
White people say it.
You know, I come from an affluent neighborhood.
I don't actually, now that I say that, I don't think white people know what the word affluent means. They just say, you know, I'm middle class.
Right? But you look at it and it's like, yeah, you know, people aren't invested in local government, which is why let's talk about states' rights. States' rights are very powerful and very beneficial.
States' rights?
I do support states' rights, but here's the problem, is that I know that states' rights have done some bad things, okay? They've done some bad things, but I think that, like, you know, like, abortion is a power in this country. You know, because of individual states and people in the states, marijuana legalization is being pushed specifically because of states' rights, because individual states, the people have pushed so hard, they're pushing the federal government.
True.
If we are active as a society in local government...
Which, I'm sorry, quick pause. Why haven't they legalized weed federally? Like, come on, it's a delivery service. People are just sitting at home with nothing to do. Like, why is this not...
Gotcha.
Why is this not just kind of
Our Lord and
pushed
Savior, Joe Rogan, was interviewing the Republican Representative or Senator, I don't fucking Dan Crenshaw.
Uh-huh.
You know, the one-eyed guy, right?
Oh, uh-huh.
The one who got made fun of on Sunday Night Live, as you would know him, right?
Oh, yeah. The
And
one who got butthurt at Pete Davidson.
Yeah, but you know, he kind of wasn't completely wrong.
He didn't get butthurt.
Yeah.
A fan base got butthurt, and
he was
on his behalf.
He thought it was kind of funny, but it was a little rude.
That's
kind of
comedy, though.
Yeah, it is. And he said, he was like, you know, I really don't like it. And Joe Rogan goes, why? He goes, I've had some bad experiences with it. It's not really for me. He goes, you like it? I smoked it. No, I didn't really like it. And he was like, you know, but I just have to look at the whole picture. He said, everything you're saying is good, and you're right. But I gotta look at the whole picture. Now, he did say one thing that's true. When you legalize marijuana for people who are age 21 up, you are kind of normalizing it for teenagers, you know, because you're saying, like, it's not really bad for you. You just have to wait till you're 21 years old. When studies do show that it does affect you, heavy marijuana use during your teen years, especially where you're developing chemically, can really affect you negatively.
But so does all the other controlled substances that we have that you have to wait till 21 to get.
No, of course. I'm not saying
Like,
but that's a false. But the thing is a false equivalence, because that was then, and we're thinking about legalizing it now. So you have to think about that now with this substance. That's not something I'm saying should be done. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that that's a reasonable expectation. Like if you're looking at it, it's like, how is this going to affect the youth?
Okay.
But my whole point is that his entire point was like, I guess it's okay, but I just don't like it, so that's my position. And I think that's kind of what's going on. I think a lot of people just have been sick. You know, they can't argue that's bad for you anymore. You know, he's like, I get the legal, because I get the medical part of it.
Well, in that case, why don't we just illegalize endive? I don't really like endive. It's fucking gross.
Really, you don't like endive?
I fucking hate endive.
What?
Endive.
Endive. No, anyway, I just can't. Sounds really fucking.
Sorry, I was going chowder with it.
Really?
You were going something else.
Yeah, I know, right? But I just fucking, you know, I think that's a good. But here's the thing: it's gonna be legalized because these individual states have legalized it using their rights as states, right? Can't say states' rights because this is bad memories, right? Their rights as a state.
Does it kind of taste a little icky
right?
coming out of your
right? And then the federal government comes in and raids these shops that are legal in the state, and then the federal government looks shitty, you know, and then it sparks the conversation. The conversation,
the discourse.
It's on The View, you know. And then what happens is that white mommies who, instead of getting hooked on Oxycontin or Oxycodone or Xanaxes and shit, they start smoking joints, and then it's gonna be legal, and that's just what's gonna happen.
Well, I totally agree that that's the road we're on. I'm just saying, like, now's the perfect time. Look, we need something to kind of stimulate the economy.
They allow us to drink alcohol. They let us. First of all, I'm not saying you're not going to smoke a joint and run a car into a school bus or into like a parking garage full of kittens or something, because you probably will. But I feel like you're more likely to do that with a drink. You know what I mean?
Wait, so what are you arguing with this?
I'm just saying that, like, I feel like alcohol is much worse. Like, I feel like you're more likely to kill yourself and others if you have a drink. If you smoke a joint and drive, that's a no-no. You shouldn't do that. But if you have like 2 drinks and drive, extra big no-no. Like, oh boy, you're gonna have a few drinks and beat your wife. You're gonna have a fat ass fucking blunt, and you're gonna fucking fall asleep. Like, I don't understand. And I don't fucking smoke. But I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a secret. I'm gonna tell everybody a secret. Angel's been in my house. I tried it.
Wait, did you ingest it?
I've tried to breathe it in more than once. I don't really like it.
But you don't really strike me as someone who likes inhaling stuff.
Yeah, it didn't feel good. But she did that shit with a blunt fill. That shit burned. It's the tobacco, because the tobacco leaf in it.
Oh, she gave you a fucking.
Can't do it. That shit. She's so fucking hood too. She did that shit. It was. But
wait, was it a fronto leaf, or was it like a backwoods, or was it just?
It was backwards.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, the pink one, and then.
Ooh, the fucking wild berry.
She likes that shit.
Oh, and those are so fucking good.
When she did the zigzag, I liked it better. But like. And when I coughed, I was like, oh boy, I'm a little high. But I just don't, I didn't really love it. It wasn't like you know. And she told me how to like properly like breathe it in and stuff, but it wasn't really great. I didn't really
You gotta
enjoy
fill
it.
your cheeks first, like a chipmunk. And
You
then
do though.
take
It's
the
very
inhale.
interesting. You can't just breathe it directly in.
No.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But like
Well,
after
good thing she was teaching
you
you.
know, but I personally just don't think it's super enjoyable. But fuck it, everybody should be able to do whatever the fuck they want. You know. Also, I don't know. They let us smoke cigarettes. Cigarettes are legal.
You smoke with cigarettes?
I don't smoke with cigarettes. You know? Hey Riley,
Riley.
you want to smoke with cigarettes? It's like, oh man, yeah, you know I smoke with cigarettes. Yeah, oh man.
Smoke this one.
Like
I just think like now is the time. Now would be a good time to just go, you know what?
well, so
Weed's legal.
tying it back to the COVID thing, like after everything is fucking falling apart and everything is a fucking mess, what's gonna happen now is that, you know,
We're gonna
like,
cling to
you can't work from
traditional
home.
American
You can't
values.
work from home. They've always said that to you. Oh, you can't work from home. You can't really work from home. Work from home makes it more difficult to street. We've learned that's now a lie.
life
Okay.
finds a way.
Life finds a way. Okay, Dr. Ian Malcolm. You know, so you look at it and it's like, okay, you look at all these situations and you realize that like they've been lying to us. I know this because we're young, but they've been lying to us for many years.
Who is this they who's been lying
Who's
to
they?
us?
I mean, it's the people in the offices because they don't want their workers to work from home. And they're afraid. They're afraid their workers are not going to be as productive. You know, they're afraid they can't, like, I don't know, you sit there, you do all your work in 2 hours and then you listen to podcasts and stare at your computer screen. But I guess they're afraid that if you go home that you might be happy or something. Or they might realize that they're not as valuable to society as they think they are. Or something, you know, or I don't know what it is, but I think they've been doing these things for years. You can teach from home. You can do all these things from home. Huge social gatherings that are kind of absurd. I love wrestling, and I went to WrestleMania last year. It's like 70,000 people. But like I was watching it, and I was like, man, they can't see. What is going on? You ever been to a football game? It's like, why? You know, it's social.
Well, but
You don't need to.
I went to a UFC fight in 2018, and I was in the fucking nosebleeds, but it was fucking lit. Like it was cool. I
did that shit in the bar.
No, I couldn't because there was just so like the roar, you know,
Yeah.
the roar when shit happened.
You ever been to a real big bar when something? I went to a bar for a League of Legends event, the Cloud9 versus TSM, fucking League of Legends and a thing, and it was like 500 people in there, and when fucking Cloud9 got that fucking Nexus, and the fucking room was shaking. Like you can replicate that wherever you go.
Let me translate this for some of our other viewers. I was in a Las Vegas bar when the Golden Knights were in their first season, and in like game 2 of the Stanley Cup, and whenever they'd score a goal, there was a euphoric solidarity of cheer. But you didn't like it that you can get it at a bar, but being at the event too,
But like, do you need to? Those things
you don't need to.
You know,
but it's a luxury.
Was it last year?
It's the same reason
the
I-
playoffs, the Raptors versus the Wizards. I put on my Oculus Rift, and I was like, I was on big screen. I was like, I'm watching a movie illegally or some shit. I don't know. And then one of the rooms was like people watching a basketball game, and I go in there and I'm like, oh, I don't watch basketball. Next thing you know, I was like, man, this is great. And there was only 6 of us on VR watching this shit, but I came on every night and we fucking watched it. And I was knowing the players' names and shit, and I was really invested in
Look
it.
at you getting into sports ball.
Because really the social aspect is what matters. There's a little bit of ambiance.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But you don't need the way that we've been doing things. We shake hands and we hug strangers. That shit should change, and it's gonna. I think after this, I think
like permanently?
yes.
You think we're like done with the handshakes?
No,
from
I mean
now on?
handshake is still gonna happen, but I think that after something like this,
Like, are low bones still cool?
I was in a liquor store and this guy was like, social distancing. He like ran away from me. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny actually. Yeah, it was pretty great. I know I shouldn't laugh at it, but it was pretty funny.
I don't know. Just as someone who's starved for any physical affection, I don't know. This seems a little dismal.
You know, listen, I'm not saying that it's the end of the world, but you know, things are gonna have changed. And now that employees like the proletariat realizes that they don't have to fucking get up at 6 a.m. for their 2-hour fucking car commute in fucking Los Angeles to go sit in an office and do something they can do from their computer at home.
Is that the proletariat? Or the proletariat you still going into work every day risking your fucking
I think a lot of the people, they're still the proletariat. They're members of the party, but the joke in 1984 is that like there's like a lower party, and that's what Winston is. You know, so like the proletariat isn't that far from Winston, because Winston is still like, he's meeting what's her face in the mass of the proletariat, but he's not far from the proletariat.
He's proletariat adjacent.
Yeah, they keep them, so like the higher party keeps them, you know. So like the people who are still working from home, they're still in the same system because they're still fucking working, and they have to work.
They have to.
You know, they're just a little less expendable. There you fucking go. There you go, bud. Look at this shit. It's the end of the fucking world. Shit is gonna change, and guess what? Trump's gonna be reelected. He's gonna get his money, and then you know what? His next 4 years are gonna be better than the last 4 years. And you know what's gonna happen? In history, they're gonna look back, and he's gonna be just another okay fucking president. Donald J. fucking Trump is the president of the United fucking States.
I'm not doubting that he's gonna get elected for another 4 years, but I don't think that shit ain't gonna hit the fan in those 4 years.
I'm about to fucking vote for this motherfucker. That's it.
Oh, really? Oh. You were talking all that good Andrew Yang shit a second ago.
Listen.
Oh. Are you meaning to say you're not a never Trumper? Or are you more a never Bidener?
It depends on who Biden. If Biden's like, man, and I have my VP is Kamala Harris, and my Secretary of State's going to be Bernie Sanders, and Andrew Yang is my person of whatever finance. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm okay with this.
If he stacks his cabinet, I'm down.
But if he's like, listen, my VP is going to be fucking Mitt Romney or some random shit, I'm going to be like, you know what? I might fucking vote for Trump. Also, by the way, I'll tell you something. Nobody fucking believes me. I'm going to say this shit over and over again. I do not think, as a person who's really been paying attention, that Trump has mishandled the situation. And I think that leaders are defined by these things.
What's going on?
And I can't believe that. What's going on over there?
Oh, probably just the cops telling people to get off the street and go home.
Really? Has that been happening?
That's been happening. Ooh, that's been happening.
Ooh, that's a thing.
People are like,
oh shit. No. Is this like illegal? Oh my fucking god.
Well, this is fine as long as our heads aren't. We can't be on the streets. Like there's.
Good for partners.
There's kind of a curfew.
Yo, I feel like rebellious right now.
Calm down, Anne Frank.
Was she? Wait. So she's one who was deaf, blind, and dumb. It's like, no, that was Helen Keller. It's from Clerks.
Oh, right. I'm like,
It's from Clerks. Because before I was a Joe Rogan person who talked about Penn Jillette, all I did was talk about Kevin Smith. I was that person.
You've seen Red State, right?
Of course.
Oh, I fucking love that. Yeah. Yo, Dogma isn't anywhere streamable.
No, this is not streamable. This is Real Life Season 2.
But you found it.
I did indeed. All right, hold on.
Tell that story.
No. I gotta save some shit.
For what? When's the next time we're gonna record?
I got you, actually.
It's the end of the fucking world.
No, I set that shit up. I got it set up. We're gonna fucking record. I have my computer set up and everything.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you what to fucking do. You're gonna go into the thing. Because the problem is, not you link it to me, is you would think it's easy to record into the thing. It's not.
No.
It's not hard, but it's not easy. It doesn't sound good. That's why I'm trying to. Fucking...
Well, are you like setting it up so like the computer is next to the microphone, or
no? I'm setting it up so we're gonna do it.
Do direct.
Do my microphone. I have my microphone, so you're gonna sound like shit, but it's okay. I'm just gonna sound good. And
I have a like not just a computer microphone. Like I have one that is actually outside of the. It's
whatever. We're gonna set you up. I'm gonna send you the link. You're gonna click it, and then we're gonna go through the thing, and it's gonna work, and we're gonna sound fucking good. But you gotta leave them with something. All right. Now.
What?
I don't fucking know.
We're all in a state of like, what's gonna happen next? Do we
How
really
been
need to leave our audience?
What?
Like
We've
that?
been going for. It's been an hour. My timing is so fucking good.
Wow.
I'm so good at that shit without even looking.
Props. That was impressive.
Yeah, I don't. My inner clock just fucking told me. Wow. You know. Plus, we started to ramble a little bit. So what do you? Oh, you got anything coming up? Any comedy? Oh. Not like you've been doing that shit anyway.
Hey, I actually had a show last time we recorded.
That's true.
Last time we were able to go out and do shit.
Yeah.
I had just done an actual booked show, which I'm still waiting on the fucking tape for. Ain't that some shit?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I got that going on. Oh, I got a website that I'm building for myself that'll feature Was That in Good Taste, and some recipes, and just...
Can I throw some recipes on there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not? I think I can only have one contributor, but I'll give you like my password and shit.
Yo, this will be a fucking thing.
I got cinnamon rolls on there now. I think I'm gonna do some like breakfast nachos is gonna be the next one I do. It's gonna be recipes. Was That in Good Taste?
You know I have tons of lights in my house and shit, and cameras and stuff?
What?
Yeah. I have like fucking umbrella lights and box lights and shit. I'm gonna take food photography.
Look, also I think we should do like a rooftop stand-up. Or like something. I don't know. I've been
I'm scared though to like do a fucking thing with like amplifying because the cops.
What, the Beatles did it.
Okay.
I'm white. It's fine.
You know what though? If you did, you'd be like on TikTok or some shit.
Oh, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
Look, I have 2, 4, 6 buildings.
But you're not funny.
Well, true. I'd have to have some good like Corona jokes.
All right. Well.
All right.
This is not Was That in Good Taste. This is not actually Was That in Good Taste.
What is it then? What are you gonna name it?
It's not actually.
It's not in good taste?
No, it's just not actually not in good taste.
That's a mouthful.
That's the whole point. Yeah, I guess something. I'm not gonna do no outro. There's no music or nothing. I'm just gonna put this out there. Fuck it.
That was not in that was good
actually
taste.
Not in good taste.
Reminding you to secure your own face mask before helping and assisting those around you.
We're still alive. This shit is still happening because I'm still paying for it every fucking month. I've not been recording anything, paying fucking hosting fees and shit. Hopefully I get my shit together.
You and me both, bud.
Well, I guess this is Steven.
And this is Chandler.
Oh, this is weird. We're doing a thing outside. But this is some fucking shit, man. And this is not actually or not what was that good. Fuck you. Game over.
Fuck it.
Don't die. Also, I wish you and your family very well. Take care of yourselves and stuff.
Was that to me or to the audience?
To everybody.
Oh, okay. Excluding.
Excluding you because you're. And yeah, you can press the button now.
Press
I'm
it.
not editing anything. This is gonna go.